Hey guys, what's up? I'm uBanka, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about the ZenFone 7 and the ZenFone 7 Pro. Asus came out with these phones a couple of days ago and they're the successors to last year's ZenFone 6. And I've got to say that they're doing a lot of things right with these phones. Now there's some naming problems with Asus here in India because they ran into some copyright issues with their ZenFone branding. So the ZenFone 6 came out as the 6Z, and I'm guessing whenever the 7 and the 7 Pro come out, they'll probably be known as the 7Z and the 7Z Pro. Now in terms of the specifications, the ZenFone 7 has the Snapdragon 865 chipset. It comes in with 128GB of storage and it has two variants with either 6GB or 8GB of RAM. The ZenFone 7 Pro comes in with a slightly better Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset. It has 256GB of storage and 8GB of RAM. Now these are really high-end specs. Both these storage technologies use the latest UFS 3.1 technology, and you can even expand them up to 2TB using a micro SD card slot. But these are specifications that you come to expect with phones like these nowadays. So this is not what makes the Zen phones really amazing. What makes them brilliant is their design. So today companies like Samsung, OnePlus, Apple, they go for this design where they either have a punch hole or maybe a notch for their front camera, which really interrupts with your full screen bezel-less experience because you have a camera coming in the way. Asus has gone a completely different route. They've removed the front camera. Instead, the rear camera flips up and acts as a front camera whenever you need it to. Now, this has two very big advantages. One is that since there's no front camera, you don't have any interruptions because of the notch or maybe the punch hole, and you get that truly bezel-less and full screen experience. And the second is that you get the amazing rear camera quality as your front camera. But it does have some disadvantages as well. I mean, because of this flip module, the phones are not water or dust resistant, and there are even some questions around the durability. I mean, Asus does claim that the flip mechanism is much stronger than the one they had on the ZenFone 6, and it will easily last 200,000 flips. So assuming 100 flips a day, that's more than 5 years, which sounds really good on paper. All in all, it's a really brilliant and innovative design. I mean, Asus has also added some features where it's not just two modes where you can either have it as a rear or a front camera, but you can even control the angle of the flip based on the angle you want your camera to be in. Now inside the flip module, we have 3 cameras this year instead of 2 that we got last year. We have a 12 megapixel ultra wide that's even capable of taking macro shots. We have a 64 megapixel primary wide shooter, and we have a 8 megapixel telephoto that's capable of a 3 times optical zoom and 12 times digital zoom. These cameras also support 4K and 8K video recording, and they're really good flagship Sony sensors. So on paper they're very good, but we'll have to test it out to see the actual quality once the phone comes out. Now both the 7 and the 7 Pro have the exact same camera and the exact same flip modules. The only difference is that the ZenFone 7 Pro comes in with optical image stabilization, but the ZenFone 7 doesn't. Both these phones have a huge 6.67-inch Full HD AMOLED display with that faster 90Hz refresh rate. Now this is a huge improvement over last year's ZenFone 6. I mean, I think that was the biggest complaint that people had, that the ZenFone 6 had an LCD display and not an AMOLED one with that slower 60Hz refresh rate, and it's really cool that Asus has finally upgraded the ZenFone 7 and the 7 Pro to have that AMOLED display with the faster refresh rate. That, along with that bezel-less, no camera front display, is going to be an amazing experience. Now in terms of the build, they do have Gorilla Glass 6 on the front, which is a very good technology and will provide you a lot of protection for your screen. But on the back, they've chosen to go with the older Gorilla Glass 3, which may not protect the back of your phone as much. Now this is a little disappointing because you do get phones with Gorilla Glass 6 on the front and back these days. I know you can solve it by putting a case on the back and protecting your phone that way, but it would have been really cool to see Gorilla Glass 6 on the back. Another thing I don't like with the build is that the phone weighs a whopping 230 grams. I mean, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus has the same display size as the ZenFone 7, and it comes in 40 grams lighter at 186 to 190 grams. Now this makes a huge difference, and if you're using the phone with just one hand, your hands will get tired because the phone is really heavy. Now this extra weight is not completely unnecessary. I mean, the flip modules require some motors to run and they take up a lot of weight. In addition to that, Asus has included a very large 5000 mAh battery. This is really amazing, and you'll be able to easily get through your day irrespective of the usage that you have. And Asus has also included a very fast 30-watt charging brick this time that they claim will charge your phone from 0 to 100 in under 90 minutes. Now these phones don't have wireless charging capabilities, but Asus has included this amazing battery charging setting where you can control the speed at which the phone charges or the amount to which your phone will charge. Tweaking these settings will really help you improve your battery life in the long term, and it's really cool to see these features on this phone. In terms of the security, it has a fingerprint sensor. Now, it was on the back of the phone on the ZenFone 6 and they've moved it on the side on the power button on the ZenFone 7 and the 7 Pro. Now, this is not ideal. I would have preferred an in-display fingerprint sensor, but it is what it is, and it is on the power button on the side this time. Now, in terms of some other aspects of the phone, it does come with 5G support and has stereo speakers. They come with the Android 10 operating system along with their own Zen UI 7. The power button can even act as a smart button where you can assign actions like opening Google Assistant or your favorite app by just double pressing that button. However, one thing to note is that the ZenFone 7 and the ZenFone 7 Pro no longer have a headphone jack. Now, other than the slight differences in the processor and the storage options, along with the lack of optical image stabilization, the ZenFone 7 and the 7 Pro are exactly the same phone. They've been launched in Taiwan starting at 22,000 new Taiwan dollars and going up to 28,000 new Taiwan dollars. This roughly translates to 55,000 rupees for the lowest variant and 70,000 rupees for the highest variant of the ZenFone 7 Pro. This is significantly higher than the ZenFone 6, whose highest variant was priced at 40,000 rupees here in India. Now, I agree that the ZenFone 7 and the 7 Pro are much better than the ZenFone 6 in terms of their specifications and features, but this is a really huge price difference, and if that is the price that the ZenFone 7 and the 7 Pro come in India, it will be very hard to recommend them because you have a lot of amazing phones by Samsung and OnePlus in that price range. In my opinion, the ZenFone 7 and the 7 Pro should be priced anywhere between 45,000 and 55,000 rupees, in which case they'll be an amazing deal and a really brilliant phone to buy. That's it for my video. If you liked it, please share and subscribe to my channel. Catch you guys in the next one.